What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at this 2023 Dodge Charger RT Daytona. Big shout out and thank you to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this new RT for today's video. Take a look at their website linked down below. Now this car is finished off in Sublime. MSRP is around $52,000. So let's get right into it. Underneath the hood of the 2023 Dodge Charger RT, you're going to find the 5.7 liter naturally aspirated Hemi V8. This 8-cylinder is pumping out 370 horsepower with 385 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, sending the power to the rear wheels. It can do 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds, topping out around 155 miles per hour. Curb weight is 4,300 pounds, and running on an 18.5 gallon fuel tank, you can expect 16 miles per gallon in the city with 25 out on the highway. The overall length is 198.4 inches with wheelbase at 120. Width is 75 inches and height is 57.8 inches. The RT Daytona is also going to get a rear axle ratio at 2.62, and you're also going to see ventilated disc brakes in all four corners. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the 2023 Dodge Charger RT Daytona. Of course, in this color, this car really pops. But we get a set of LED headlights with LED daytime running lights, and it all fades its way into the upper grille. You're going to get Daytona on the far side, lots of openings to allow air to enter and cool down this engine. You're also going to see a huge grille down below for more airflow, and then a nice corner vent piece. You get a pretty good looking front splitter, really nice contours throughout the front bumper just to give it that muscle car appearance. I really like how everything flows together. On the hood, you're going to see that power dome design with a Hemi graphic finished off in the satin black with a nice scoop right in the front. Has a really cool design, definitely an aggressive looking sedan. As we make our way to the side profile, you get a nice set of wheels finished in a gunmetal gray. They're a split 5-spoke, measuring 20 inches all around. You can see really clean body lines throughout the side, and I really like the one cutting its way through the door panels. We get a nice design for the lower side skirt, and then body colored on the door handles and black mirror caps. All black trim surrounding the windows, and then more satin black for the roof just to match that hood. Get our sunroof up top along with that shark fin antenna, and then taking a look at the whole side profile. This is a pretty large sedan, however the proportions are really nice. It fits that muscle car theme very well, and overall it comes together to be a pretty stylish car even for having somewhat of a dated look. In back, you're going to see more satin black with Daytona written on the back. I like how that comes across the trunk and blends really well to that trunk mounted spoiler. You get nice body lines cutting towards this rear fender arch to really finish off the side profile. And then in back, we get that massive LED taillight bar. Really cool the way it goes from all the way from one side to the next. You get Dodge written out in the center, a trunk release button along with a backup camera, and then Charger is blacked out. More sharp body lines with parking sensors in back, then a plastic black diffuser with your dual exhaust tip. I think overall, especially in this color combination with all these satin black accents for the Daytona package, I think the Charger RT really comes together. And then moving on to the key fob, we have lock, unlock, trunk release, and remote start. And of course, if you go ahead and lock the vehicle, all you have to do is grab the door handle. It'll automatically unlock. You also have a lock button on it as well. Moving to the interior, this has a very nice black Napa leather interior with, of course, alcantara covering so many parts. Door panels finished off in black. We get the smooth black leather for the insert, as well as some padding on your armrest. We have a grab handle, all your window and mirror controls, then a release handle with memory seating. There's quite a lot of storage space down below, and then moving inside, we get power adjustments for the seats. The seats themselves, I love the perforations in the alcantara throughout the center with a really cool stitching pattern. Nice size bolsters making our way all the way up, and of course we get Daytona embroidered. More stitching around the headrest, very cool style, and then a black leather steering wheel with perforated leather. And then now inside the RT Daytona, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster now, we get an LCD screen right in the center with a few vitals, tack on the far left with your speedometer on the right side, then you can configure that LCD screen with the control panel on the left of the steering wheel. So if I scroll down right now, we can see vehicle information. You can scroll left and right and see all sorts of different vitals within this car. And then continuing down, you have performance indication with 0 to 60 timers, things like that. So pretty neat to see, especially in a more performance-focused sedan. And then continuing down, we have fuel economy information, trip, audio, and then a few more items in the last few pages. On the steering wheel, we get that Dodge logo right in the center. Cruise control settings are over on the far right side with some Bluetooth and audio on the left. And then we do even get a set of steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. They're kind of small, however, they have a nice look up on top of the wheel. And then on the underside, on the back, you're gonna get some volume and track changing buttons. You can see the stalk on the left side for turn signals and windshield wipers. And then your headlight controls on the far left, along with interior dimming and your trunk release. You get some cool vinyl material with stitching all around the dashboard. And I really like this metal look to the plastic. Kind of looks like a patinaed metal, which is a pretty neat touch. You can see more of this vinyl along with that Daytona badge, and then more stitching wrapping around this infotainment screen. On the screen itself, we have a page right here with all of your climate control information. You can very easily adjust everything, your fan speed. You can go under more controls for heated and ventilated seating, along with your heated steering wheel. You have all your media controls that'll pop up. You have your apps right in the center with a few different items. So if I go under the performance control right now, we can see a lot of the drive information. We have launch control you're able to adjust. You have the drive modes themselves, sport mode setup, you can adjust how everything is going to be. Going back under this menu now, if we swipe over, we can see a few more things, and if we tap into the performance pages, this will pop up with a lot of different information within the car. On your home screen, you have a few different gauges. You have timers that'll pop up as well. We get gauges for some of the temperatures, a G-force meter, engine, and then a dyno, which is pretty neat to see. We do have built-in navigation, phone integration, and then all of your settings. And if I go ahead and put it into reverse, we get a nice size backup camera. Graphics aren't the best, however, it's still pretty good. And then you're gonna see parking sensors right in the center. Going back into park, underneath the screen, we have a few different controls. We can tap the sport icon real quick. It'll go into sport mode. Then we also have the super track pack. You pop that in, it'll go back to that menu, volume, track tuning, and then physical climate controls down below. When you make any adjustments, it'll also come up on the screen. We have your temperature, air conditioning, and recirc, along with defrost. Then you can see a little bit of storage space down below with a 12-volt, more storage on the side of the shifter, and then a pretty cool design for it. And then you get more of this plastic material that looks like the aged metal. And then behind all that, we can pull this back. We get 2 cup holders and a nice slot for either the key fob or a cell phone, and then more of the leather with stitching on your armrest. Opening this up, there's a little bit of storage in here along with some plugs, and then it opens up with even more storage space. On the right side, you're going to see a glove box with a pretty good amount of storage in here, as you would expect. And then one last look at the interior. Of course, this car's been around for quite some time. However, with the Napa interior and all the Alcantara, it is a pretty sporty car to be in. And then up on top, we get a black headliner. You can see a manual sunshade here as well. And then all of your controls are up front for dome lights, garage door, and we even get a sunglass holder up in front. Moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, door panel's finished off just like we saw up front. And then in back, you're gonna see the same seating with the nice Napa leather and all the Alcantara material. This can seat 3 people, and then we can even pull this middle seat down. You're gonna see armrests along with nice cup holders. And then we have air vents down here with 2 different plugs, and there's even storage. On the back of the seat, we can pull this lever. These will fold nearly flat, give you a lot of extra storage and a good area into the trunk. All right, so sitting in the back seat of the Dodge Charger, this is one of the bigger sedans out there. At 5'11", I have pretty good headroom. My head just barely touches the glass above, so I don't want to hit any too big of a bump. Might smash your head a little bit. But overall, it's a pretty comfortable back seat with good armrests, pretty good visibility as a rear seat passenger. You don't really feel too closed off or anything. So for a family muscle car sedan, definitely a pretty cool option. Moving on to the trunk space, you have the button on the key fob you can double tap. Of course, that button that was on the rear. And then inside here, you have a huge trunk. There's a ton of storage space in a Dodge Charger. Once again, it's a huge sedan. You could probably fit 4 golf bags in here, quite honestly. And then underneath the floor, you can even lift this strap upwards, and you're gonna get a little bit of hidden storage space. So for a performance-focused sedan, it is definitely a pretty practical vehicle. All right, guys, we are setting off in the RT Daytona. So getting up to speed, It's not the crazy fastest car, obviously. You can get a Scat Pack on top of this or go for a Hellcat. However, accelerating is pretty good. You know, it'll get up to speed nicely. You get to enjoy that V8 rumble. So it's a pretty good entry point into a muscle car, especially when other competitors, you know, might have a 4-cylinder. It's pretty cool to be in this with a pretty decently healthy V8 motor. It sounds good for sure. Now, some normal driving, if we just take it out of sport mode, go into automatic, it's a pretty comfortable, livable car. These seats are really nice to be in. Of course, the materials themselves is really nice. Like, nice to touch, but good padding, good support, great visibility. You can see that huge hood. You can even read Hemi from here, which is a really nice touch. All the mirrors do a great job. And when you look over your shoulders, visibility, honestly, fantastic. Very, very livable of a car. I think that's a really good touch, how they've made this car feel like a pretty normal car with all the space you could ever want. So let's go ahead and get back up to speed. We'll leave it in automatic right now. So just letting the 8-speed do its thing. Trying not to let it redline. It likes to rev though. It's a very quick revving engine, so it seems to just want to be used. And being such a big motor in general, I mean, obviously it's not really stressing it when you are going to use it. As far as some normal things with the suspension, you know, I like how it still feels like a pretty tight vehicle, and yet it's comfortable as well. If we go to the performance control and set up everything, so you're able to adjust engine, transmission, traction, and steering. So this does have a fixed suspension. You're gonna need to get into a Scat Pack, I believe, to get to the adaptive dampers. However, driving it like normal, there's a little bit of body roll, but that's kind of expected given this weighs so much, but it's smooth and comfortable when needed. And if you're gonna be a little bit more performance driving focused, it still is nice and tight. The steering feel, of course, in comfort mode, very lazy, super lightweight, but then when you tone it all the way up to sport mode, it tightens up a lot, adds a little bit of weight to it. So it's a pretty cool blend, like I said, just a good blend of an entry point muscle car. Looks really good, of course. I mean, I think the styling, while this is a old car in general, I think the styling on the outside still looks great. And the interior, especially if you get the leather, the alcantara, it feels like a nice place to be. Interior tech is a little on the dated side, so I could see some updates, obviously, with the next generation car. But overall, it's a pretty cool place to be, and you're able to play with the car enough without getting into too much trouble. You know, you got a little bit of power underneath the hood to play with, and it's a pretty good entry point into the muscle car world. All right, so turning around to my honest thoughts. So in general, the RT, not the most performance focused car out there. It's not crazy fast or anything. And at $52,000, there are a lot of cars for this same money that you can buy. They're not gonna have a V8, however, they are going to be faster just because they're all gonna weigh 1,000 pounds less. So my only problem with the RT is don't buy it thinking it is a crazy fast muscle car. The Scat Pack is the one that I'd say is more balanced to where it kind of puts that smile on your face, pushes you back into your seat, and is actually a pretty darn quick car. And then of course a Hellcat, pretty mind-blowing what you can do with a Hellcat. The RT is kind of that good entry point. You know, maybe you're looking at an EcoBoost Mustang, at least Charger Challenger RT. You know, it might cost a little bit more, but at least you do have a V8. It's gonna sound awesome, of course. So it's a cool blend. I think this is the car for someone who wants the V8, wants a little bit more economical than the 6.4 liter, or of course the 6.2 liter supercharged motor. So it's decently economical for the V8. You get that muscle car style, the size, the practicality. Of course, that V8 sound, which no other car is going to give you. So it's a cool blend, but again, at $50-something thousand, if you're buying this car, you can afford to buy a lot of other cars. So you're definitely not someone who's settling buying this. So if you are going to buy it, you know what you're getting, you know what you're not getting. There are other cars at this price point that are going to handle better, be a little bit more nimble and tight. Maybe have a turbo inline 6, and with a tune, make 500 horsepower. So my perspective, coming from more of the import, the JDM, the European cars, I'm more of a fan of those. So for me, like a BMW M340 or an M240 or something like that, for the same kind of money, you're going to make a lot more power and be good at handling. But I can see the appeal to this. You know, this is a cool way to get still an old school muscle car. The V8s are going away. Not everybody is a big fan of cars that are turning into 6 cylinders and 4 cylinders with turbos. So the fact that Dodge, at least for this model year, still gives you a V8, just that old school muscle car feeling, it's a cool vibe, and I can see the appeal. Not exactly my taste, so don't take that the wrong way or anything. However, I can at least appreciate what Dodge has done with the Chargers and Challengers, and they're giving you that old school muscle car feeling that honestly we've seen for decades and decades. This particular car, I think this spec is really sweet. The color really pops. All the black accents for the Daytona package, I think, really come together. And the interior's not bad. A lot of people love to hate on this interior because it's old. Yes, it's old. However, when you have the leather and the alcantara in here, aside from these screens maybe just having not the best pixels and things like that, and maybe this part being a little cheap looking, I don't really have an issue with it. It's a decently nice car. It's sporty, it's muscular feeling in here, and you actually do have all the technology you're going to need. So not a bad option. Not exactly my taste of a car. Of course, I'm into different types of cars, but I can see the appeal to this. And if you're looking for a brand new muscle car without really breaking the bank too much, I mean, this is a little bit above the average price of a car, so it's nothing too hard for the general person to be able to pick up. Put an RT on your list. You get the sound. You're going to get enough power, at least to get on the highway, have a little bit of fun with the car, and you get a pretty well-rounded muscle car that's practical, usable for the day-to-day, and you can still have a little bit of fun with it, just having something that is on the cool side. Big shout out and thank you once again to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this Daytona for today's video. Check out their website, linked down below. They get in a lot of really cool specs. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content. I'll see you all in the next video.